Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Let's Talk Yards. I am your host, Max, and he is also your host, Will.
Good afternoon.
Well, today we are going to be discussing Dallas Cowboys versus the Detroit Lions and also the Houston Texans against the Baltimore Ravens. Both of us happy today, aren't we, Will?
Oh, ecstatic, yeah.
We are ecstatic. Both our teams pick up the... Wait, did the Houston Texans win? I can't remember.
Pick up a fat W. Oh yes, a big win. A big win.
They scored a mighty 7 points.
Yeah, I know.
But we're going to leave you on tenterhooks there, and we're just going to focus on the Dallas Cowboys game first.
Yes.
Dallas Cowboys pick up a 35-27 win in Detroit. Close, but towards the end, Dallas Cowboys kind of pull away. From the first quarter, Detroit kind of lost it. Dak Prescott had a mega game. He's got NFC offensive player of the week.
You're giving out that many picks. They've given him the defensive player of the week.
Yeah, I suppose a good offense is a good defense. So
Yeah, well,
as they say. So yeah, he gets a career of 444 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mega game for Dak Prescott, I think. I've noticed a lot of fans have kind of turned their head on him. I've said it before. I didn't think he was good enough, and I'm still not 100%.
Oh, so you think the populace has changed their mind about?
I've been seeing a lot of things that have been saying, right, pay him now. Whereas,
pay him what though? What does he want? 40 mil? He wants 40 mil a year, doesn't he?
Apparently, I think it's going to be about 35.
That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah,
That'll be he will be the highest paid quarterback in history of NFL.
No,
if I'm correct, if he gets 40 mil, he will be.
The problem is that if he does, then that's just going to be so much pressure on him. And I'm not saying he can't handle it, but it's one of them where if you are the highest paid anything, there's always going to be a target on your back. Every game that you have a bad game, everyone's going to be sick. Because look at Zeke now.
Yeah,
that's what everyone's doing that with Zeke now. Like Zeke he didn't have a bad game, but for the highest paid running back in the league, he had a bad game. So it's one of those things where you look at it, there's plenty of players on our team. We've had it with a guy called Tyrone Crawford for a while who got paid a handsome amount to be a DT, and he's kind of messed about with injuries. We don't know whether he's going to play left end, right end DT. So I hope he doesn't get that much. I do hope they pay him, because I think it's difficult to find the QB, and the way Dallas are at the moment, we're not going to be picking high enough to the point where I'd be confident that whoever comes in is going to, Yeah,
there's no sort of reassurance there, is there? There's no. I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't think he's personally worth the money, but he is. He's not exactly like he's putting up bad numbers, is he? He's not exactly like he's doing.
I'm pretty sure he's topping a lot of stats right now.
Yeah, he's not like he's doing bad numbers. So I mean, he is worth a decent amount of money, but I just don't think he's worthy of that title of the highest paid QB in the NFL. He's just not worth that title.
Just that statistic here. Dak Prescott became the first Cowboys QB in franchise history with 3,000 plus pass yards over the first 10 games of a season. So, but on the flip side, Ezekiel Elliott has fewer than 50 rush yards in 2 straight games for the first time in his career. So both of them are kind of having up and down times at the moment.
That's not exactly like a great. Right. We're more than halfway through this. We're 3/4 through the season now.
Yeah,
we're week 12.
Yeah,
and it's not sort of the time to be having. You need to perform. You need to have that consistency. And if you don't, I'm not really sure. I think the players to have consistency throughout a lot of seasons is obviously tough mentally and physically. Yeah. But when you're getting paid that much money, you sort of, you need to put the work in. Do you know what I mean?
What was great, really, I thought, well, not great, but if you look at the receiving, considering Dak got 444 yards, Amari Cooper only had 38 yards, and I've been singing his praise. I think he's still struggling with injuries, to be fair, and they weren't actually putting him out there as much as he would have done.
Has he got an ankle injury?
He's got some sort of disease / whatever you want to call it, where apparently it feels like he's got like constant pins and needles in his foot when he stands. So it's like he's got like niggling pain where it's manageable, but it's still
there. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know
that. Gallup gets 150 yards, no touchdowns. Randall Cobb 115 yards. Just going through the game, really, it started off with, I thought it was going to be one of them other games. Well, Ezekiel Elliott starts off with a bloody fumble on the first play of the game. We had it at New York Giants where Dak throws an interception straight away, which was fantastic. For all you Dallas Cowboys fans, you will have noticed that when Detroit Lions struck back, it was with Bo Scarborough, who was a former 7th round pick for Dallas Cowboys, came from Alabama.
7th round.
Yeah, they had him for a bit. He's a big old back. One of those like bell cow running backs, and
just a body coming through, isn't it?
He played quite well. I mean, there was a play in the game where he basically just ran over Sean Lee, which was crazy. He doesn't, but the problem is he doesn't really have the speed or stamina to really make big plays. So he's a very like
to be a good back in this league, you need to be big, fast, agile, and you know, an extremely security ball carrier.
He's like
it's all very well you saying you're big and you can run DNs over, but if you can't do anything else with the ball, you're just there as you're there to get a third and one, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
You're there to get a third and one or a goal line back. You know. It's
talking about backup running backs, Tony Pollard now, who people are starting to want to see a bit more of because Zeke's not playing the best, scores a touchdown to make it 10-7. Does a little stutter move on the defender and scores a receiving touchdown. Detroit hit back. Driscoll read option play made it 14-10. Gallup actually makes an insane juggling catch. He goes to catch it.
I saw that,
it bounces up, and then he catches it whilst it's still in midair again. That leads to a Zeke touchdown on the goal line, 17-14. Huge touchdown before halftime. Randall Cobb gets clattered. Dak, with about 30 seconds left, throws it about 30-odd yards. And two of the defenders come either side of Cobb, and one of them goes helmet to helmet on him, and I thought, because Cobb stayed on the floor for a little bit before he started celebrating, I thought, oh no, this is bad. But luckily he held on to it, and 24-14 in. To be fair, in the second half, not much happened. It kind of slowed down a bit. It was a bit field goal city. Jeff Driscoll makes it 24-21 coming out of the second half, and then Zeke Elliott scores actually quite a nice receiving touchdown. Dak does some weird like sidearm spiral pass. Zeke makes a really good like catch, stays on his feet, and then goes in for a touchdown. And then he does the Dak hip celebration.
Some sort of warm up.
That was so funny.
That's pretty funny.
So I mean, even though Zeke's playing poorly, there's not much you can say about that celebration. It was actually quite banterous. And just a side note, just so I'm giving fair look on both sides. I didn't know Matthew Stafford wasn't going to be playing this game, but Jeff Driscoll I thought actually played all right. When I was watching him, he didn't look like a backup QB that hasn't played that much, if at all, to be honest. Because if he's been playing at Detroit, he's probably not had many looks in because Matthew Stafford plays all the time. But I thought the way he throws the ball is quite good, and he might be one for the future, to be honest, because I think he was I remember his name from a previous draft, so he's not exactly an old QB. So and then so the game ends 35-27. We've got the New England Patriots next week, Will.
That'll be a tough one.
There's been so much like memes. Everyone's guaranteed either Patriots or Dallas Cowboys are gonna lose, so everyone's loving it. Everyone hates New England Patriots or Dallas Cowboys.
Well, it's because the other teams just sort of win a lot. I mean, I know previously the Cowboys won 5 Super Bowls in 4 and 6 years, was it? 4 and 5 years, and the Patriots are probably one of the most like.
Just going into the game, what's going to be most crucial is if Dak can play like that again, it's still going to be difficult against the Patriots defense. The Patriots defense is like legit. It's
probably
especially
the
with
best in
Belichick.
years.
Yeah,
the best in a long time.
And apparently Tom Brady grew up as a 49ers fan.
He did, yeah.
So
Montana fan, wasn't he?
He's got hatred for Dallas Cowboys. So
understandable.
I feel like, to be honest, Dallas Cowboys might get their asses handed to them.
I'm not sure they will. You know,
Dak Prescott, to be fair to him, says here is 6-2 in his career versus top 5 scoring defenses based on that week.
Ah, right.
So
but I mean,
that's actually quite good. To be fair,
that's not bad.
6-2.
6-2 is not too bad.
Which when we looked at, say, Kirk Cousins the other week, and I said that he was basically 1-27 against like winning teams. That's quite a good record, but I don't know. I think we're gonna get beat because I think Bill Belichick's gonna be on it. He's already come out and basically said that we're a very difficult team, and he's going to have to scheme well to stop our offense.
And if Bill Belichick is scheming well, you've got yourself in for a good game.
Yeah,
because I mean, if he's scheming, he doesn't really. I know. I mean, I'm not sure about him personally, but I can't imagine him scheming very much for a Browns game or a Redskins game. Do you know what I mean? Or a Dolphins game. But if he's actually gone out of his way to say in the media, and bearing in mind, Bill Belichick is one of those guys that is silent as hell in the media.
Yeah. Exactly.
If he goes out of his way and says he's scheming, then you damn well know he is watching film.
And it's at the Patriots, and I don't think our defense is playing the best. I mean, I think we're getting pressure on, but how they played, they just let too many yards in, too many silly touchdowns and stuff. Michael Bennett is good, but he's making some stupid mistakes, giving away penalties.
Wasn't he a Patriot?
Yeah, he was. So hopefully he gets his arse in gear. I think with it being in the Gillette Stadium, I think it is, isn't it? The New England Patriots Stadium. I think we'll probably lose 26-40, something like that.
I think it'll be quite
handy. I don't think we'll get beat as much as 41-7, but but I think we'll lose by more than one possession. So that is my look on it. I'm happy with the Dallas Cowboys Detroit win, because I actually said that Detroit would beat Dallas Cowboys, and you actually said the Cowboys would win.
I did actually, yeah, I did.
It was one of the ones that you got right. I think I won predictions, but we'll get onto that later. So
yeah. So moving on to the Houston game on Sunday.
Why is your voice so sad, Will?
I don't know.
You just seem so sad. Like,
it's just because we won another game. You know what I mean? We just won another game. No, so Houston lost in a dignified way, 41-7. Now I'm not entirely sure what happened, but Jesus. I've got a few notes written down on my phone.
Good.
And they aren't very good. I'm not a positive man at the moment. But we'll go through some of the stats. Deshaun Watson, 18/29, 169 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Passer rating of 63.7. Not good.
Move.
Not good at all. Hopkins. Now, 7 receptions, 80 yards. Jordan Akins, 15. Yeah, man, it's just not looking good. I know this season I've been very critical of Hopkins and our staff players, but I think I'm being a bit too harsh on Hopkins this season.
Oh,
he hasn't been performing statistically very well. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to individual plays, he is the person that makes them. Do you get me? So I'm trying to think of an example. Let's think of, I don't know. Let's put John Brown into Hopkins' feet. Would you say he catches the majority of the balls that Hopkins would catch? I don't think he would.
Well, based off previous seasons, no. But
this season, I grant you, he has not had very good season. However, this year against Baltimore, he was the youngest second youngest receiver to reach 600 receiving. 600 catches. If that's the right stat.
Yeah, it's good, but
But anyway, So I'm going to move on to my notes on the game.
Okay.
Houston scored a touchdown in the last quarter. Rushing touchdown. Carlos Hyde untouched, which, he's Carlos Hyde fashion.
Yeah.
Sort of going in untouched. Our rushing game actually, wasn't that bad. Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson make quite a good pair. Yeah. I'm quite happy how they're performing together. And considering the O-line was, I'm even going to mention the word that it was, but it was bad.
You can be honest though.
With Carlos Hyde performing, reasonably well with an O-line that perhaps would form better as a chocolate fire guard. It's just one of those things that, they're letting every single person in. And Watson is having no time in the pocket, which means he's holding on to the ball for longer. And what we learned from his rookie season is when he holds onto the ball for too long, he panics. He has no idea what to do. He holds onto the ball, takes a sack in the wrong place with 3rd and 20 whatever, and then we punt. It happens almost every single drive. What he's got to learn to do is get the ball out quicker. And we have to use faster paced play calls. Yeah. And Bill O'Brien and Deshaun Watson aren't together on that they're butting heads, I think, a little bit as to why they're play calling, deep balls and medium meshes and all that sort of stuff. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Well, I tagged you in something this week, which was basically saying about what the Patriots and Baltimore Ravens look like compared to the rest of the AFC.
Yeah.
And it honestly
fearsome.
It is disgusting, the difference in
bad.
level of... We're sat here talking about Texans being the 3rd best team in the AFC, and then they go and get beat by 33 points or whatever it was.
It shouldn't happen. But then again, it's that same level of inconsistency that I've been saying throughout this entire podcast.
Yeah.
That we are good 1 week, bad the next 3, good the next 5, bad the next 2. Do you know what I mean?
That seems very similar to Dallas Cowboys, really. Well,
it is. I think we do have very similar teams.
I think we might support the same
team. Anyway, so I'm going to move on to some of the game points that I picked up on.
Okay.
Hopkins, 600 yards, second youngest player in the NFL. Sorry, 600 catches, second youngest player to reach that mark in the NFL, which is a pretty good stat. Now, I think the play that everyone has been watching this week is the PI on Hopkins.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, man, but when I saw that, I did flip my TV over. No, I didn't really, but I was angry, man. I was angry. Because what on God's green earth is PI if that isn't PI?
Ref the rajed.
My man was all over Hopkins. He was giving him a hug in the end zone, and the ball wasn't even near him. What are you on?
Did they call for VAR?
I think Houston challenged.
Yeah.
But man, alive. No, I'm sorry, it's not even funny, man. If that's not PI, then what is? What is PI if that's not? NFL, Roger Goodell, man, DM me. I'm not happy.
Do you reckon it would have been a PI if he'd got a knife out, maybe? Or maybe a gun?
What, you have to have a weapon to have PI now? Is that what we're saying?
I feel like it might.
Bloody hell.
To be honest. Like, I'm not going to lie. You don't see it a lot, and when you do see it, it's actually like flimsy type of plays where it doesn't even look
I
like
mean funny, but that's just ridiculous. And even after a review, so Houston challenged, I'm pretty sure, and after a review of the play, the refs and the team that reviewed the plays still said no.
Yeah, well, it was in the Baltimore, wasn't it? So they don't want to get battered, So
I don't care where it is.
You just go.
Rules are rules. Do you know what I mean? That's not fair. You can't be doing that. I know I'm getting a bit hit up a little bit, but you can't be doing that.
That's fine,
Can't be doing that.
I've done that.
Anyway, I'm going to move on before I start crying. We had a fake field goal block. AJ Moore blocked a field goal for a stop. It's pretty good. Fairbairn. So we're good on special teams until it comes to actually kicking, where Fairbairn missed perhaps the worst field goal attempt I've ever seen. Now, when I used to play football, I was 16, 17, 18 years old, I played for the Hertfordshire Cheetahs in Hertfordshire.
Shout them out.
The junior team, under 19s and under 17s for the youth and junior.
What happened to under 18s?
It doesn't exist.
Oh, shit.
It's youth, under 17s, or I think that is youth, under 19s, which is junior, and then it's adult, which is
fair.
adult play.
Okay.
But under 19s, we had field goal tryouts one week for special teams because we didn't have a very sort of, we had a team of maybe 30. So we had to sort of, I played both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
I played safety and running backs for the majority of the time.
That's knackering.
And our backup QB was our kicker. And he was also a free safety, and he was also a linebacker. Like, one of those, just played everywhere.
Yeah.
And he could kick the ball about, I'd say, 40 yards field goal, maybe 45. I'm not being funny, for a kid in England to kick a ball that far, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a professional football player that can't kick a 35-yard field goal and misses it by that much.
Shanked it. Absolutely.
And it's your sole. You're playing football 5 days a week, not including a Sunday.
No.
So you got so Tuesday to Saturday, you're playing, aren't you? You missed a field goal by that much. It's just not on, man. What are you doing with your life? Stop. We had Nick Novak before, man. Nick Novak didn't miss a field goal.
He should have a big enough garden as well to the point where he could practice.
In it, man. He's getting bags for kicking a ball 20 yards right of a post.
Exactly.
Anyway, I've got many points to talk about.
He needs to invest in some goalposts in his house.
So the other bad thing, our O-line is just bad. Yeah. I don't want to go into it. It's just bad. It's bad.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Will, you can't. We have mentioned it, but because I was watching a lot of the games, first half of each game on Red Zone, and when I'm looking at the Houston Texans play, do you know that like Benny Hill sketch where it's like that is literally Deshaun Watson from like legit. He is literally
yeah, it's that. Basically, it's that.
He is running around like, oh, player there, no, where's my blockers, blah blah blah.
He's scrambling and this is the thing. He has no time in the pocket, so he throws the ball away. He takes a sack.
Yeah,
it's just one of them things. Our secondary is again probably as bad, if not worse, than the O-line. We're letting up humongous plays. We can't tackle anyone. Lamar Jackson was breaking arm tackles. I mean, who goes for an arm tackle on Lamar Jackson? My man just scrambles and runs through big players. And what makes you think as a player that you can arm tackle him?
Lamar Jackson.
He breaks arm tackles. Bad tackling, another point I picked up on. Lamar Jackson just storming through our team.
How sick was his run?
He was just chancing through, and he was dancing at the 5-yard line going in. So I ain't being funny, man, but if I saw that as a D lineman, I'd be fuming at myself.
He is better than the majority of running backs in this league.
Yeah, he is a good running back.
Yeah.
If you put him in as running back, he will perform to a higher standard than I think most of the league. He's not a running back.
He could get into your team as a running back and a QB.
Right, he could. He could be our second string and still perform better than Watson at this rate.
He could probably kick for fair.
Bro, he could better. To be fair, he's an all-rounder, man. He's just an all-round player. Watson, just another example of him throwing the ball away. He threw the ball. I'm not sure who picked it off, but he threw the ball directly to a player.
Not good.
Over our O-line, which proves how bad our O-line. He threw it sideways, so that just proves how our O-line positioned themselves in the field. They decided to block to the left instead of the right-hand side of the field, but we'll get onto that in a bit. But yeah, he's just throwing balls around.
I do feel sorry for him
unnecessarily.
To be fair, because I've said that he is your franchise. To be fair, and
yeah.
To be fair, he does hold on to the ball too long sometimes.
Too long.
But he is scrambling so much,
and it must take it out of you just always just running away.
Yeah, he's got the whole team in his back. Sometimes it feels like.
But yeah, so moving on to the better things.
No, Jesus, you've got a better things, Colin.
With Houston. I mentioned it earlier briefly, but Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson had a decent run game with a bad O-line. I think Carlos Hyde had 65 yards, Duke Johnson had 40 yards. It's not standout, but it's better.
Yeah,
it's better
as a
than to be expected. Another good thing, we have signed Vernon Hargreaves from Tampa. Now, funny story about him actually. I used to follow him. As a Gator. As a Gator. As a Florida Gator player.
When you used to be a stalker?
When I used to be a stalker, I used to be a stalker. I used to, I've actually got a Vernon Hargreaves Florida Gator jersey.
Oh.
I got it for Christmas a couple of years ago. But yeah, I was a big fan of Vernon Hargreaves. So
is he a cornerback?
He's a cornerback. he was a really good player. He was a cornerback when I first started playing football, so he was a bit of an idol for me when I first started playing football. So I've got a jersey. Florida
So
Gators
you're
jersey.
happy?
So I'm happy. I'm happy that we've signed Vernon Hargreaves.
He was quite, if I remember correctly, he was quite a high draft pick.
He went 11th.
11th.
He was
overall.
first round 11th in 2016.
So I mean, it mustn't have worked out the best for him, but I suppose when you look at it, you know, Jalen Ramsey's on a different team.
I think he had 10 recorded interceptions in his college career, and I think he's had 3
So where did you pick him up from?
But he's not a starter.
Was it a trade, or is he a free agent?
I think he's a free agent.
Yeah, because the trade deadline finished.
He's a free agent. So we picked him up. So he's not had a good start to the NFL season, but I'm hoping he makes a bit of an improvement.
It, you know.
And another off-topic. Well, it's not off-topic really, but it's another sort of bonus for the Houston fans. I'm looking for a win this week. I'm looking for sort of motivational things to keep me up, because I'm a bit depressed about this win.
They're not in the playoff picture at the moment.
They're not. But Hopkins leads the AFC in wide receiver Pro Bowl ballot with 59,000 votes.
Piss off.
Yep.
What for? What, the AFC?
Yep. Hopkins leads the AFC in Pro Bowl votes.
Oh, see, I don't like the Pro Bowl, fam.
Neither do I, but it's a win for me because another player is in a Pro Bowl from Houston, and
it's going to be shit. The AFC is. I'm sorry,
yeah, it
but
does.
It really does. What the hell is that? Arguably, he's not even the best wide receiver this season on your bloody team.
No, I think Kenny Stills is doing better than him, and we picked him up second week.
I mean, I don't.
First week. I don't know. We picked him up somewhere.
As I said, that's difficult to. Even someone like Tyreek Hill for the Chiefs.
I think T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, T.Y. He's been out. I think he was out last week because he wasn't on my fantasy team. But if you're just going by names, Jesus Christ, that's.
But yeah, so I'm going to do it brief. The main points this week is if you call him PI, call PI. Our special teams needs work. Even with Air Bear needs to go, man. So poor secondary, poor O-line, poor tackling, decent run game with a bad O-line. We've signed Vernon Hargreaves from Tampa. Hopkins lead the AFC in Pro Bowl votes. And we have the Colts tonight.
Wait, so what we've gathered from that was the only good things about the Houston Texans are the running backs and the D-line.
I wouldn't even say the D-line is that good. Shut up, Max, man. You're making me feel even worse. But I'm going to move on. I'm going to forget last week. That's history. That was last Sunday's problem. Today it's Thursday's problem. We have Thursday night prime time against the Colts. If we do not win this game, this season is done.
It's over. Is it at Colts or at Texans?
It is at the Colts, I think.
Oh, man.
I'm not entirely sure.
Man. That's so difficult to call because I like Texans. The Colts have been an up and down team. They lost to the Miami Dolphins, then they won this past week.
Actually, no, sorry, I lie. It's at Houston.
Oh, it's at Houston. So
last time we lost against the Colts, I think it was like 16-10, something like that.
What do you think it's going to be, William?
Well, if I'll put it this way. I am not optimistic at all. We have conceded 33 points last week.
41, sorry.
So yeah, but no, in total net.
Right, yeah.
33 difference in points, but shut up.
Just didn't.
But I am not hopeful. I think we will lose this game. That's not me being a sad loser or a bad loser or a sore winner, whatever. But I do not think we win this game. By the way that we performed last week, with how Watson performed, how our O-line performed, how our secondary performed, the tackling, how we performed on tackling, it was just not up to our normal standard of play. And I don't see how we can change that over 1 week's period. I know we somehow do it in previous times. We somehow go, we lose 3 major games in a row and then we win 9 like last year. Or we've won 4 in a row this year. It's not the same. We've had a massive defeat. I don't know, man. It's just not looking good. So I'm going to say the Colts are going to beat us by a hefty amount. Not as much by this much, but I'm going to say a good maybe 14 to 21 point score difference. So I'm going to say 7-21, 7-28. It's not looking good.
Well, you're both 6-4.
Yeah, both 6 and 4. Whoever wins this takes the division, and whoever wins this game is going to be in the playoffs. We might make the wild card. Yeah, great wild card. But we will lose that wild card because we will play Baltimore again. We will play
currently
Chiefs again. We will play a team that we know we can't win, and we know that we'll lose against because of our previous score record.
As it stands now, New England and Baltimore are gonna be 1 and 2 seed. Kansas
be number 3.
3. So that would be
Colts will be number 4.
Who the Texans will be playing because they're currently in the wild card places.
Colts will be 4.
Colts
Houston will be 6 probably.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to be a bit banterous, just because I feel like I always go against Cowboys, and sometimes you pick the Cowboys, and you always pick the Texans, and you never go against the Texans. And I've not picked the Texans a few times, but because I think I mean, you lost that prediction because you said that they'd win.
Yeah,
against
I did,
Baltimore, didn't you?
Yeah, I lost that on that sole game.
I think I might
Thanks,
say...
Texans. Thanks, mate.
I think I might say that the... I don't know, Will. Like, that's difficult. This is difficult.
Have a think about it.
Yeah, I'll come back to it.
Have a think about it, and we'll smash through the games. So, obviously, Texans against the Ravens, 41-7. Yeah. Steelers-Browns, probably one of the highlight games with Myles Garrett.
We need to talk about this.
Beating the shit out of... I don't like to swear on a podcast, but beating the shit out of Mason Rudolph with Mason Rudolph's helmet.
What do you think about that? Because
I ain't being funny, man. Mason Rudolph started that. Well, yeah, it's all very well. Myles Garrett shouldn't have smacked his helmet off. Blah blah blah. Yeah, don't get it wrong. You should never have taken. You should never swing for a player anyway, regardless of what you do, because it's not a game. It's not. It's not bloody MMA. You don't fight each other on a field. Yeah. It's respectful. Yeah. You know, if you better a player, it's respectful. You do not take his helmet off and beat him with it.
Yeah.
And then you don't get your other players to then beat up Mason Rudolph as he's then on the floor. They were kicking him.
Oh yeah, they were.
And then Pittsburgh O-line started kicking Myles Garrett, man. It just turned into some sort of like mass WWE brawl.
That was mad. It was mad. I mean, I personally, I know people are saying, "Oh, Mason Rudolph should be suspended and all that shit." But I don't.
He did start it, but he didn't do anything that's worthy of a suspension.
I think if you look at it in the context of the game, they were literally. He'd had one of the worst performances of the season, Mason Rudolph. Myles Garrett sacks him and he rubs it in. He keeps him on the ground. He is literally
Myles Garrett's just giving him a taste of, what losing is like.
So, like, if you're already in that mental state of mind where it's like, oh my God, like, nothing can go right, and then now this big old guy's on me and he's giving me shit and he's lying on me, like, I would be like, oh, do you know what? Piss off, and I might like push him, I might like throw my legs out at him, whatever, and which is what happened with Mason Rudolph. But Myles Garrett took it from being a scrap to people talking about it as if that would have gone differently, Mason Rudolph might have died.
I mean, bloody the where was it? Cleveland, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was home at Cleveland. Cleveland PD turned up at the changing room afterwards to interview players.
Yeah, because people were talking about it being like
an assault.
An assault, because
I mean, it is an assault. He used a. I mean, I'm not being funny. I'm not sure if any of our listeners have even held an NFL helmet or a helmet at all. But my helmet, it is not light. It is a heavy bit of like equipment, and I know that the NFL have like higher grade helmets. They're lighter. They're like they're more. They deal with impact better, and they're made of like higher composite materials. But like my one at home is it's not a cheap helmet, and it's bloody heavy.
Yeah.
And if you get hit around the head with one of those things, you're going to have a concussion.
Yeah. Well,
regardless of how hard it was, if you get hit with it, you're gonna have a headache.
And the thing is, as well, he was lucky that it was the bottom of the helmet. Where
it was the flimsy back at the back, wasn't
exactly.
It was he hit him with the ear, like where the ear goes.
If it isn't the top of the helmet on the top of his head, he could quite.
If that was the top of the helmet, he would have been KO'd.
He could have still been in hospital now. That could have been big time. Legit. But
yeah, so moving on from that.
He's out now for the rest of the season. I think
probably next season as well. Yeah, probably next season. But yeah, moving on. The Browns won that 21-7 at Cleveland. Redskins. Jets beat the Redskins 34-17. Redskins still.
We got that right. I think we got the Browns game wrong, didn't we? I think
we did. Yeah, the Steelers. So yeah, Jets Redskins. Bit of a disappointing game, I think, for the Redskins. I think they.
Yeah, I mean, I heard before potentially that game that they hadn't scored a touchdown in a month.
Yeah.
So
the Jets 3-1 in the NFC East.
Well,
not surprising, really.
That's
not surprising.
It's not the best.
No. Saints Buccaneers. Saints beat the Buccaneers 34-17. Divisional game.
Not surprising, but I'm not. I mean, I've got a feeling that you might have said the Bucs will, but we might have to go back and listen to that. But yeah,
I'm sure I would have stayed with the. I think I went with the Saints personally.
Yeah. Okay.
But Broncos Vikings. Vikings beat the Broncos 27-24.
Close game.
27-23. Close game. 4 points in it.
Broncos were 20-0.
Yeah. 20-point comeback.
Yeah. Which was, I mean, Kirk Cousins. Denver Broncos has actually got quite a good defense. They've got a similar defense to what they had. They just don't have a good enough offense and QB play to, go with it, to be honest. So they had a 20-point comeback, but once Vikings started to come back and the defense started
crumbled,
to tie
didn't they? Yeah.
Exactly.
Bills Dolphins. Bills beat the Dolphins 37-20. John Brown, 2 receiving touchdowns. Is a career high for John Brown.
Yeah, I mean,
he is the player of the week, I think.
I mean, no surprise. I mean, Dolphins had been playing better.
Yeah, I mean, to score 20 points from the beginning of the season when they were scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, and I mean the Buffalo Bills.
Improvement.
Buffalo Bills, we've got a decent enough defense as well, so fair play to them.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on to an AFC divisional game.
You got this one wrong.
I did get it wrong. Jaguars versus the Colts. Colts beat them 33-13.
That was a bit of an annihilation, really.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
264 rush yards for the Colts. That's
most since week 11, 2004.
Jags are out of the picture now for your division.
They're done.
Whether they were ever in it to begin with is one thing, but
So we already spoke about the Cowboys game. Cowboys 35-27 against the Lions.
Woo!
Dak Prescott 38 wins since 2016. Trails only Tom Brady.
Oh, well, see, that's why he wants to be the highest paid QB.
Yeah, man. Second to Tom Brady.
What can
Fair
you
enough.
say? Stats like that flying about, it's not going to help our negotiations, is it?
No, really not. Falcons at the Panthers. Falcons beat them 29-3.
Falcons are on a roll.
Falcons,
bro.
Man, they started the season off very, very badly, but
they might go 9-7 and make the wild card. You never know.
Maybe. Falcons 4 straight wins versus the Panthers 1-7 of the last 8.
Panthers have lost it now. Kyle Allen is not very good. He is not playing well. I mean,
McCaffrey is out of the. I think he's out of the MVP talks.
Oh yeah.
Only because of his team aren't going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they were going to be in the playoffs, I think McCaffrey would have easily been in contention.
It's Lamar Jackson's to lose now at this point.
It is. It's Lamar Jackson and Russ Wilson's to lose. I think it's them two. Patriots, Eagles. Sorry, no, I'm skipping the game. Cardinals, 49ers.
Ooh,
49ers.
Cardinals.
I know. 49ers carry on their crazy streak. 36-27.
Their crazy streak of one now, actually, Will, because they lost.
Not crazy streak, but, crazy season, we'll say.
How did you feel about that, Will? Did the tear come to your eye seeing Kyler lose again?
No, because I expected them to win, didn't I?
Yeah.
I did say that those 49ers would win.
Yeah.
It'd be dumb not to, really. But, sorry, moving on to the one I said earlier. Patriots versus the Eagles. Patriots beat them only marginally, 7 points.
Defensive game, to be
Defensive
fair.
game, yeah, marginally beat them 17-10.
I need to say this as well. I know it's all banter and stuff, but I'm part of a few Dallas Cowboys fan pages, and they have been given so many Philadelphia Eagles memes. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think there is too much.
Everyone needs to just simmer down because we
Chill.
are against the Patriots and we'll probably get beat a lot worse than by 7 points.
Yeah, you got to humble yourself a little bit over there, boys, in you Cowboys group chats. We them boys, you got to humble yourself.
I don't mind all the Patriots ones because some of them are funny. I saw one where someone's put knee-high red-heeled boots on Tom Brady and said because that picture was going round of Tom Brady bending over in front of Edelman, I think it was.
Yeah.
You see him warming up and he was bent over. And then there was the the Drew Brees.
Yeah, Drew Brees and
the
was
big
it,
ass one.
Who was?
I think it was Alvin Kamara.
Alvin
was
Kamara.
like bent down,
Drew Brees. Yeah, he literally got a fat ass.
Batty.
But about a swing. So moving on. Bengals versus the Raiders. Raiders beat them again, the same as the Patriots score, 17-10.
Yeah.
John Gruden. Max Crosby, 4 sacks, most by an Oakland player since week 14, 2015.
17-10, another 17-10 game. The games went the
kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie, quite boring.
The best this week.
Next game, Bears Rams. Again, a very similar score, 17-10.
Yeah, you got
17-7.
Well.
So Todd Gurley.
You went with the Bears, I believe.
I did say Bears. Yeah.
I said the Rams.
Todd Gurley, 133 scrimmage yards and a touchdown.
I mean, that's better than what he has been doing. But both of these teams, I actually watched this game. Both of these teams were doing their darndest not to win this game. I mean, it really highlighted how poor Trubisky is and how poor Jared Goff is. If I'm honest.
Not great. It's really not great. Moving on to the last game of week 11, we had Chiefs at the Chargers. The Chiefs beat them 24-17.
Well.
I said the Chargers as well. I didn't have very good week of predictions. And the teams on bye were the Seahawks, Packers, Titans, and the Giants.
Yep.
So I definitely lost predictions.
Yeah, so I'm 3-1 up now.
You are 3-1 up.
In this
but do you remember in the beginning of the season?
I was 3-1 up last time and I bottled it.
We ended up on 4-4, didn't we?
Yeah, well, I ended up losing, I think, 5.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 5-4.
Yeah.
5-4, yeah.
Yeah. Might have even been worse.
So, we're going to go on to predictions now for week 12.
Predictions! That's our new jingle.
By the way. Predictions. Dun, 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 dun,
predictions. Predictions.
Anyway, so predictions. Colts, Texans, I've already said the Colts are going to win.
I'll say... I'm going to say the Colts as well, to be honest.
Yeah, man, you silly not to. Go against my team.
Yeah.
Seahawks, Eagles. No, I'm going to go Seahawks, man. Russ Wilson, Danger Russ, is slinging that pigskin beyond words.
I'm actually going to go for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'll tell you for why. I think that just how it's going, Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles flip-flopping constantly. I think Dallas Cowboys are going to lose. They're going to be 6-5. Yeah, 6-5. Eagles are going to win. They're going to be 6-5 also. They're at home, I believe, or are they?
Yeah, no, they're it's Seahawks are at the Eagles, so it's home game for the Eagles.
Yeah, so I think Philadelphia will probably win. It's going to be a very close game though,
yeah,
so
fair
I wouldn't be surprised to see Seahawks coming off.
I mean, Russ Wilson is 5-0 with 116.2 average of a passer rating on the road. So on road games.
Don't get me wrong. I hope the Seahawks win. So that's kind of a hopeful pick there, to be honest.
Yep. Lions at the Redskins. I'm going to say the Lions. Shock horror.
Oh yeah, the definitely the Lions.
Yeah,
they've lost the 6 of the last 7 games though, but the Redskins just are not good at all.
No, they're really not good. Raiders at the Jets. I'm going to go Raiders.
Josh Jacobs versus Jets, number 1 ranked run defense. Ooh.
I'm going to go Raiders, man.
I think the Jets are going to have to pick up a win that aren't in the NFC East at some point. So I'm going to say the New York Jets, bro. I'm going to be risky this week.
Fair enough. So I'm going Raiders, you're going Jets.
Yeah.
Bit of controversy.
It is.
Panthers at the Saints. Again, another... Is that a divisional game? I think it is, yeah.
Saints.
Saints won 3 of last 4 games versus the Panthers. Saints are going to win that one, I reckon.
Yeah.
Saints will win that one. Dolphins at the Browns. A shit bowl.
Yep. Trash bowl.
Trash bowl, sorry.
Yes, Jesus Christ. There's too many F's and Jeffs with you today.
I know. Sorry, I shouldn't swear on podcast, but I'm just a bit upset.
Get the bleeper out.
Yeah, beep. Dolphins, Browns. Browns.
Yeah.
Browns.
Probably Browns, I mean.
Browns, yeah. Steelers, Bengals.
Honestly, I'm going to
Steelers, man. They're 0-10.
I think the Steelers are going to win, but honestly, just listen.
It's going to be close, man.
Bengals are going to win.
It's going to be close. You think Bengals are going to win?
Yeah, I'm going to say Steelers, but I've just got a feeling.
No, you can't say that,
Mason.
Man. You can't go. You can't say Steelers are going to win, but the Bengals are going to win.
No, I have to go the Steelers, but I'm telling you.
You have to go for the Steelers because you don't have my predictions.
Yeah.
If you're saying Bengals are going to win, Bengals are going to win. Do you know what I mean?
No, I can't pick the Bengals, but I've just got a weird feeling.
Fair enough. Giants at the Bears. Now I'm gonna go Bears.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go
Bears definitely.
Too, to be honest.
I think it'd be silly not to really.
Yeah.
Broncos at the Bills. This is a tough one because the Broncos have really good defense and the Bills have really good offense.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is he's gone 5 straight games without a interception.
Well, they've done it now. They've jinxed them.
Yeah. So I think Bills are gonna win that one.
Broncos are unlucky, weren't they? I think
they have a good defense, man.
I think I'll say the Bills as well.
Bills, yeah, be safe. Buccaneers at the Falcons. Now I'm going to say Falcons, man.
I'm going to say Falcons as well. The way they're playing at the moment, you can't bet against
5
them.
consecutive wins against Buccaneers, so I don't give them much hope.
No. And as well, just a side note, Matt Ryan has now become the 10th all-time passing yards of all time now. So he's cracked the top 10. He went past someone like John Elway or someone like that. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So another AFC game. Jaguars versus the Titans. It is an AFC week this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jaguars at the Titans. I'm gonna go Titans.
Titans. Yeah.
Titans. Yeah.
100%.
Cowboys at the Patriots. Spoke about that briefly before, but I'm gonna go Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots. 100%.
Packers at the 49ers. Now, tough one. This really is an NFC showdown.
I think I'm going to go Packers, Will. I'm a big...
I want to go 49ers. I've got faith in Garoppolo, man. I want, 49ers last year, a bit of an underdog. I want this year, they're storming through.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
9-1, so I'm going to go 49ers that one. And the last game for week 12, we have Ravens at the Rams. Now, that's a bit of a dumb one. I'm going to go for the Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens at the moment. But
so
Rams
we've only disagreed on a few.
You never know.
And the teams on the teams on bye this week are Vikings, Chargers, Cardinals, and the Chiefs. Vikings play Seattle next week. Chargers play Denver next week. Cardinals play LA. Chiefs play Oakland. Now, I think that all the teams on bye, other than the Vikings, will win after their bye week.
Yeah, I mean. That's made me a bit worried about my Raiders pick because I feel like the Raiders probably lose. So they'll probably won't lose two in a row, but I'll still just pick the Jets anyway. Yeah. See what happens in it.
So that's been our review of Week 11 and our predictions for Week 12.
Exciting times.
Exciting times. Sad loss for Houston. Happy win for Max.
Yeah, of course.
We wish for better days, but I do not wish for better days. Following tonight, the primetime game. But this has been Let's Talk Yards with Will Feaver and Max Quinn. Thanks for listening. Keep an eye out for our future videos, our blog posts, our Instagram posts, our Facebook posts.
Of course.
All of that jazz.
All the posts.
Keep an eye out for all of our posts. Goal posts as well.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace.